Welcome back to the channel, guys. My name is Gene. You guys are watching Lubed for January oops, do I got that wrong? It's actually January the 6th, 2024. I was planning on doing an episode on January the 4th, but it just turned out that why bother, considering the fact that they don't play until Saturday, which is going to be actually in 1 hour from now. So January the 6th, I apologize for that title breakdown. Let's just get that thing right off the screen right now as it's bugging me. This is season 3, episode 27, guys. The Edmonton Oilers are rolling along pretty good. Pretty good. I'm very impressed with how they are playing. A lot of good things to take into consideration with what we're seeing with this Edmonton Oilers club team. And again, they play the Ottawa Senators in 58 minutes from now over at Rogers Place, and then go on a bit of a road trip. But they're playing good. They're playing good. The wild card spot is within their grasp now, which is remarkable considering how they started the beginning of the season. So yes, I'm doing an episode tonight, and I will do an episode tomorrow. I hope I will do. I do promise you guys I will do an episode tomorrow, and we're gonna get into the numbers on the Chris Knobloch and Woody situation, on who did what and how they did it and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, we got a few things to get into. Again, I'm going to be on the air tomorrow doing the recap of this Ottawa Senators game, and I'm expecting a win. But these are the games that also worry me the most, as it seems like it's their Achilles heel against crappy teams. San Jose, earlier in the year, they lost. And it's kind of like when I was playing poker. Okay, so way back in the day when I was playing poker, the good players I could always beat. The bad players I could never beat, because they would just play their cards the way they were, and then they would get lucky and hit some draws and whatever. So anyway, I kind of get it. So we'll see what happens here. Let's dive into, I know it's been already 4 or 5 days from now, but we'll dive into the recap of the Philadelphia Flyers game, as the Edmonton Oilers defeat the Flyers 5-2. John Tortorelli sat there and they were asking questions about McDavid and this and that. And he just, I don't want to answer any questions about the opposing team and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, the Oilers were able to dismount the Flyers pretty significantly in a pretty good game, considering that back in November they lost to Philadelphia. I don't know what the score was, but it was one of those losses that it was another eye opener. Like, what the hell's going on with the Edmonton Oilers? But this time around, they beat the Philadelphia Flyers by a count of 5-2. They peppered 36 shots on goals. Were 25% on the power play, as they got 1 for 4. Penalty kill, they were 100% lights out, as they were able to knock off all 4 penalty opportunities that the Flyers had. My first star in this game would definitely be Connor McDavid, as for a second night in a row, an Edmonton Oiler got a 5-point night. And then the second star would be Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, and Zach Hyman would be my third star. But yeah, 2 nights in a row where we had Edmonton Oilers that were 5-point night. That's pretty impressive, man. Like, seriously, that's very impressive. It started off in the first period at 15:55 when it was Connor McDavid scoring his 14th from Ryan Nugent-Hopkins and Vinny Desharnais. That would be the only score in the first period. Second period, it would explode a little bit with Zach Hyman at 8:12 from McDavid and Draisaitl. Then it would be, let me just pop that up again. Then it would be Travis Konecny getting from a assist from Joel Farabee and Sean Couture. Mark Stahl would get on the board, his first of the year, from Travis Konecny and Joel Farabee. Travis Konecny has been one of the soldiers for the Flyers, by the way. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins would retain the lead, making it 3-2 for the Edmonton Oilers on a power play. This would be his 10th. And again, McDavid is in the pitcher from Zach Hyman. And then in the third period, 2 goals from the Edmonton Oilers as Leon Draisaitl would get his 18th from Connor McDavid again and Zach Hyman. And then Connor McDavid would assist a Ryan Nugent-Hopkins goal at 11:19 of the third period to complete the 5-point night, and that would also be assisted by Zach Hyman. So an amazing, amazing night for the Edmonton Oilers. Let's keep it rolling, boys. Let's make this. Let's get the Stanley Cup this year. Hey, I think all of us are on board. We want to see a Stanley Cup in Edmonton. I'm definitely on board with that. So yeah, a very good outing. They take on the Ottawa Senators again in roughly 54 minutes now, and I will be watching that. I will also do a episode tomorrow again, like I said, and we are going to get into the numbers. And one of the things I want to bring into light is the numbers between Knobloch and Woody. Now, when I do that report tomorrow, Knobloch has had a few more games, so you got to take that into consideration. I'll explain it tomorrow when I get into it. But yeah, I am seriously impressed with the Edmonton Oilers right now, considering where they started off with. Okay, let's dive into the schedule that they have going forward. As in January, and now obviously they played already the Philadelphia game, but they have a total of 7 home games, which one of them already happened. That was the Flyers game, and 4 away games. They're at home tonight against Ottawa. Then they head off to Chicago and Detroit and Montreal. They'll take on the Leafs at home, Seattle at home. Head off to Calgary for one quick little road trip. Go back home to Columbus, Chicago, and Nashville. And as of note, I don't know if Connor Bedard's going to be in these Chicago games, so that's one lethal threat that the Oilers may not have to worry about, as he got a broken jaw in the last game that he played, and he might be sidelined for a bit. He may be back in the January 25th matchup in Edmonton, but I'm not anticipating him to be on next Tuesday's matchup against the Oilers in Chicago, but we'll see. We'll see. He might have a full cage in that, but he did manage to get a broken jaw in the previous game, which kind of sucks for him. Yeah, it's gonna be. I look at this month and I'm like, this is a good chance for the Oilers to really make ground, because these are some teams that. Okay, you got Toronto, but Calgary's not really doing good. Columbus isn't really doing good. Chicago's not doing good. They got them twice. Ottawa's not doing good. This is a chance for the Edmonton Oilers to really, really take the bull by the horns and really get themselves into a position of power. 100%. 100%. Like, this is the opportunity. But again, it's these weaker teams that really make me worry. So yeah. So let's move on to Olivier Rodrigue. Now, I was talking to my buddy last weekend, and we were talking about what some of the trade offers were. As if you remember a few weeks back, the Oilers were desperate for a goalie. We needed a goalie. We needed it bad. And one of the rumors that my buddy heard, now I don't know what source he heard it from, so take it with a grain of salt, is that, and I think it was Montreal, when we were proposing an offer to offload Campbell to Montreal, they wanted Draisaitl also. That's not going to happen. You're not going to give up Leon Draisaitl, the second best player in the world. Like, they'll eat the $5 million per year on Campbell's contract before they would, So when I saw that, it really gave me speculation and really got me to start thinking about what is actually going on. And then I saw some reports from Bob Stauffer back on December 28th. Now this is now about 2 weeks old. But some of the reports that he was bringing out of when it comes to the Condors, some of the numbers. First of all, he's number one in the league, in the American League. At this point in time, on December 28th, when he reported this, his record was 3-0-1 with a goals against average of 1.99 and a save percentage of 942. Number one in the league, okay? The next tier up is the NHL. So it really gives you thinking, like, do the Oilers really have to make a slam dunk trade to get their goaltending situation under control? I don't think they do. I think Olivia Rodrigue could very well fit in as a backup and potentially the number one. But right now, Skinner's playing pretty good too. So when I get into the numbers tomorrow, I'll show you what Skinner has done under Knobloch and what Skinner has done under Woody. So there's a few things that we'll dive into tomorrow when I talk about that. But Olivia Rodrigue is definitely a future prospect for the Edmonton Oilers as far as the goaltending situation is. We don't necessarily have to gamble on throw in a whole bunch of money and hope that we got ourselves a good goalie, because I'll tell you right now, Campbell has been a bust. Big time. The fact that he can't even seem to get, he looked good at the beginning of the season, but the Oilers D was horrible, and that was unfortunately the triggering result. But then he goes to the American League, and he's not even holding his own at the American League level. So that's definitely not a good thing. We'll see what happens with Campbell. Obviously, we still have him for another 3 more years after this one. It's kind of unfortunate that we're stuck in this financial mess during the prime years of McDavid and Draisaitl, but it is what it is. Who would ever predict that Campbell would be that bad? You can't really fault Holland for it. He was just trying to get us a good goaltender, and it just didn't work out. All right, guys. Next up, again, is the Ottawa Senators in literally 45 minutes from now, and I'm gearing up for this game. This should be you'd think, should be an easy win for the Edmonton Oilers. But these ones that are easy get me worried. They get me queasy. The easy get me queasy. So the Ottawa Senators record right now, they're dead last in the Atlantic Division with a record of 14-20-0 for 28 points. Obviously, there's been a lot of frustration from Tkachuk and the team. Tkachuk literally saying that it's been one of his most miserable years in hockey. And we're talking even his junior years and all that kind of stuff. So it hasn't been a fun time. And it kind of surprises me because this team with Chychrun, with all the talent that they have, Tarasenko, Giroux, they got a good goaltender. Like I thought this team would go into this year looking really good. This is one of the teams that I think I rated quite highly that would have a good outcome this year. And unfortunately, it hasn't come to fruition. And now they're coming in against a red-hot Edmonton Oilers team. I don't really like the Ottawa Senators' chances. I asked my mother today what the score would be. She says 5-2. So we'll see. And she says for the Oilers, by the way, 5-2 for Edmonton. Let's see if her little prediction holds up. But yeah, the Ottawa Senators are just a remarkable story. This season has been a remarkable story. Vancouver, like, wow. Like, they just beat Jersey, I believe, doing absolutely lights out hockey. So it's an absurd season. So we'll see what happens. I think the Oilers should be able to breeze by the Ottawa Senators. Hopefully I'm not doing my video tomorrow complaining about how crappy they played. or the lack of goaltending or whatever. But I really do think that the Oilers are firing on all cylinders. And like I said, they are within grasp of a wild card. So that's all awesome. All right, guys. Final thoughts and final questions. And like I said, tomorrow I'll be on and I will do the numbers. And it'll be an interesting one. It's basically a comparison to Woody and Knobloch thus far and what the players have done under both coaches. So that's kind of what I will be doing tomorrow. I don't think I have any comments. No, I don't have any comments from you guys. So basically, hey guys, enjoy the game tonight, and hopefully we get a good W out of this, and it'll be awesome. So as always, guys, I guess I'll close it out. There's not really much more to talk about. We just hope that we'll get another Edmonton Oilers victory. As always, if you are witnessing this channel for the very first time, feel free to hit that like, share, and subscribe if the content that I provide for you is something that is decent for you guys to watch. I try to give you little facts and little notes and all that kind of stuff. Other than that, I am done. As always, guys, stay healthy, stay happy, stay hydrated. We will talk to you tomorrow. I will be on tomorrow to discuss this Ottawa Senators game and discuss the Chicago Blackhawk game and give you the numbers. All right, guys. Have a great evening.